It's at a premium. We could have sold out twice over. There is standing still permitted in the ground because of Bolton's plans to move to a new stadium. It all adds to the uninhibited nature of the support. Gallagher is the referee. Not a winner in the lower half of the table yesterday, so if they can overturn the odds and overcome United, well, the bottom club could find fresh hope, gaining ground on the strugglers above them. The Freitas, forcing a way through between Pallister and Keane. Pitch is on the soft side, has been protected by some plastic sheeting from recent rain. Still plenty of give in the ground. And Chris Fairclough was really straining for a moment against the sprinting prowess of Andy Cole.
He got a little bit lucky. It's not a bad tactic early on to turn back fours. Often talk about it, and on this surface, I had a walk on earlier. It's very, very soft. Chris Fairclough, as soon as he started to turn, was in a little bit of trouble.
An early corner for Manchester United. Fairclough and Coleman go for it together.
It's just things like that, I think, that have let Bolton down at times, Martin. Just a lack of communication. That was drifting harmlessly for a goal kick. No call. Mix up between two players. They've now got to defend another corner when they should be taking a goal kick.
Has to be taken by David Beckham, perhaps towards the trio on the edge of the area. Steve Bruce just moving away. Put back in by Giggs and claimed by Branagan. So 4 straight victories for Manchester United in the Premiership, 7 counting the FA Cup ties that have taken them to the 6th round. Ćurčić. The Freitas. It's a great try by Ćurčić to serve, and the Danish goalkeeper reached it with some difficulty.
Wonderful piece of football all round. I mentioned Ćurčić's contribution at Middlesbrough. This is what I mean. Beautiful give and go. But what about this for a save from the goalkeeper? Look at his position, 8 yards from goal. Absolutely perfect. That right hand comes up and gets the power on it to take it over his bar.
Bolton have a corner. Schmeichel comes through the crowd. He wants to hurl it out towards Giggs. David Lee having to try and curb this Manchester United threat, and he does so. All coming from more top-quality goalkeeping from Peter Schmeichel. Not an easy catch. He'd made up his mind to go for the ball. He got it, and as soon as he had, he whipped it out towards Giggs. Keane. Coleman's head. Here's Cantona. Threading it down the left for Philip Neville. Good cross on the run, but with a header.
Well, what a start to the match, man. We thought this would be entertaining. We thought two sides would go at it. Great ball from Cantona. This is a superb cross. He's about 12 yards. Good power in the header from Nicky Butt. Fortunately for him, it's straight down the goalkeeper's throat.
Well, Todd has come to the conclusion, really, that Bolton's best policy is to attack, not, as he says, in kamikaze fashion, but to go for the game. Certainly brought the reward of 4 goals at Middlesbrough's Riverside Stadium last weekend.
Although I haven't seen an awful lot of Bolton, Martin, I've talked to a lot of people about them, and they've always said to me that a very attractive side, and they've threatened the kind of score that they got at Middlesbrough last weekend.
Ćurčić picking out Lee. Room here for Scott Green. Yes, Bolton's problems have been really defensively. They've tended to self-destruct, and they've got a defensive problem here. There's so much room for Giggs. He's got 3 in red to his left. Giggs does it his own way. It's touched in by Beckham, but Giggs, glorious.
Oh, that's a magnificent goal. I say the goal was a simple finish from Beckham, but what we can all stand and sit and admire is what Ryan Giggs does here. Look at that, they've almost got 4 against 3 here. But from here, it's a bubbly ball, it's doing horrible things. He sets it up for himself. A magnificent attempt. Comes off, first crossbar, then goal post. Beckham did ever so well to follow it in, but watch this for skill. Up and it goes. Beautiful volley. He wants his own player to come in comes Beckham. What a start for United.
This is Nathan Blake. Bolton want to bounce back straight away. Blake with possibilities. Overdoing it in the end against Bruce. He's got it back. Now Phillips. Sellars. Oh, Schmeichel. Having performed the heroics before Manchester United took the lead. Almost fumbled critically there to be responsible for the lead being lost. Branagan having to jump in with the Manchester United goal scorer David Beckham. Blake, nicely done. Help all round, finally opting for Sellars. This is Ćurčić. That's good work from him.
It's worth a shout.
A goal kick.
I tell you, it's worth a shout. Not sure how much Nicky Butt got in the ball. Certainly Ćurčić, I felt right at the death. Gets his foot to the ball first here. Oh, it's close. I mean, I think it's a difficult one for Dermot Gallagher. You see Nicky Butt point right away. They both go for it. Yeah, it's touch and go, isn't it?
I think from that angle, it looked as though Butt did just get a toe to it.
Yeah. The referee was right on the spot, in an awfully good position.
And we have the benefits of the replays, he doesn't. But to the individual contribution of Ćurčić, they call him a real breath of fresh air here at Bolton. He's made a wonderful start to his career in England. Even though the team hasn't been able to produce the results in tandem with that. Sellars. Here's the Dutchman, Freitas. Pushing Pallister all the way.
Well, that's good play from Scott Sellars. Gary Pallister just back in the side after a long layoff. And I said early on, it's always a good thing to get centre-backs turning towards their own goal. Sellars did just that.
Thompson, who's had an injury-hit season. Ćurčić all alive again. And Coleman, who scored one of those 4 goals last weekend at Middlesbrough, to really cement his comeback. He's coming in at the far post. It was David Beckham coming in with a striker's instinct, really, the midfield man. Having been brought into the side at the 11th hour for Lee Sharp. Manchester United and their followers plenty to cheer about here, and not so much up on Tyneside. But it's early days, and Bolton have begun with a brightness as well that has a sense of promise about it. Cantona. Cole. Fairclough steers it away. Sellars, signed of course from Newcastle. Felt he couldn't fit in there with Ginola. He would be a bit part player. Wanted to be involved in the first team, even with a club that's struggling. Keane. Momentary loss of concentration from Cole. Cantona. Giggs. Just given time to decide what to do. Keane instantly trying to thread it wide. Scott Green stuck out a foot. But Thompson's tackle, it breaks for Giggs. And this time the ball is delivered too deep.
Good passing, good patient build-up from Manchester United. I think the thing that I've noticed, the goal goes in and you often wonder if a side who are struggling at the bottom of the league, whether heads will drop. I think give credit to Bolton. They've responded really well to losing that early goal. None of the players look like their heads have dropped, and they've really gone at United right from the first whistle.
Well, to be fair, from their point of view, it is mission improbable, should we say, but not impossible. In their run-in, they've got some important games here against fellow strugglers. Green gives it away. It's Philip Neville's pass. Cole drifting left. Giggs has gone through the middle because of that. Butt arriving. And Cantona as well. Beckham. Andy Cole! Oh. Well, it was a terrific stop by Branagan. And then Coleman made a meal of knocking it behind for the corner.
Andy Cole will feel he should have scored. I mean, his contribution was great. But having done all that, it is a good save from the goalkeeper. It's good reactions to go back the way where he was coming from and get a hand to it. But Andy Cole should score.
Sellars.
Well, we're 10 minutes and Manchester United could probably be winning this 2-1 instead of 1-0. That's the kind of start we've had.
Well, for the record, Manchester United's 50th Premiership goal of the season. And Ryan Giggs' part in it, making it one of the most memorable to this point. So I scarcely need to remind you, their next match, Manchester United, is a certain fixture a week tomorrow at St James's Park, which you will see live on Sky Sports. Fairclough. There's the Freitas. Plenty of width in this Bolton side. Lee on the right, Sellars on the left. And effervescent feeling to the entertainment this far. There's a game on paper when you just looked at the strengths and weaknesses of the two sides that you really didn't think would finish goalless. Succession of chances already. To Freitas. Corner for Bolton.
But that's what they can do, the front two at times. Both to Freitas and Blake. When they're one against centre-backs, if they're on song, if they're confident, they'll take people on, and they've got the ability to run past them.
Coleman and Fairclough have come up. Towards Simon Coleman, who's watched by Pallister. Lee drives it back in. Phillips. Nicely delivered back to the left. Away from Giggs, only to Thompson. Oh, Ćurčić giving Giggs a taste of his own medicine. Bolton have it back with Sellars. And Schmeichel knew where the frame of the goal was.
It's just a league match, man. Well, it gives us a little chance, yeah.
Exhibition stuff in it.
Well, it gives us a chance to look at that goal, and it started way back with a ball up to Cole. There's a little bit of head tennis goes on here, but look at Giggs coming round the back here. Now here's Beckham coming up the far side there, Martin. Look at the distance he makes to get in when they break away. Again, we could look at that piece of skill just all day. And Beckham's running, taking him in there, and he gets the reward for gambling.
Manchester United have got Ryan Giggs on the ball again, courtesy of Keane's pass. There's Beckham with another header. On the stretch, well, Bolton collectively and Coleman individually. Bruce! Manchester United have scored twice in 14 minutes at Burnden Park. And Steve Bruce, who's been, by his standards, a bit short of goals in recent months, climbs here to convert the corner.
Well, I think this is an example of why Bolton are bottom of the league, Martin. It's a bread-and-butter corner. It's hung up high. It's about 10 yards from goal. And one of the best headers in your opposing side walks in absolutely free. And I mean free. It's a free header by his standards. Just look at him. Look at him walk into space. Walks in between people. It's a free header. And Steve Bruce doesn't often miss them.
So he's off the mark for the season. Ćurčić, stopped by Keane. Well, plenty of bravado in Bolton's team selection, really. Not to overstress the quality of the opposition, and not to go in for maybe negative thoughts in man-marking opponents, but certainly defenders feel that they've not done their job when opponents score in a straightforward manner from a corner, and that's what Steve Bruce has just done.
Martin, you've got Bruce and Pallister, the two best headers that you're facing. You've got to make sure that both of them are picked up. Steve Bruce was just left to wander in there, in between players. Well, and as I say, when you give him that sort of time, he doesn't often miss.
Branagan with a rather tentative kick. Lee. Keane. No pressure on Coleman this time. It's Manchester United with a fair amount of comfort at this stage, just draw breath and how important that early save from Peter Schmeichel. If a shot from Ćurčić had beaten him, it would have been Bolton who would have been buoyant and bubbling. As it is, there in the familiar position of being on the back foot. And well forward for Manchester United again. Giggs. Neville. Four in the middle, in United red. Neville almost past Scott Green. Neville again.
Well, this exhibition stuff at times from Manchester United is so confident. And the passing and movement's been so good at times.
Thompson. Done well since he's come back to the side. But for Bolton now, talking about miracle workers required for this match and maybe for saving their season.
Not a bad start to the attempts on goal. Just look at the quality of Manchester United. 7 attempts, 5 on target.
And 2 goals. The bees are buzzing today, Beckham and Bruce. Thompson, Ćurčić.
He does get himself into some very good positions, you know, Ćurčić. Tries just to get in between the midfield and the back four, and he does it very, very well. And when he can get the ball to him in that position, well, I think he's a threat, the lad. Yeah, and there he is, trying to get himself in that little hole. Talked about him. He's happy to run with the ball, he's happy to pass it, he's got good ability. We've seen already the quality of his shooting, certainly on his right side.
What they've been working on in his general game here is trying to integrate him into the team pattern a little bit more. He's obviously extremely exciting individually.
Well, I think it's not only myself, Martin, but I think there are 1 or 2 Premier managers are maybe looking around at Sasa Ćurčić and wondering if Bolton do go down, would they be interested in doing business? Certainly hasn't done himself any harm at all this season, that lad.
Former teammate of Savo Milosevic with Partizan Belgrade. Neville. Keane. Ferguson must be simply delighted with this start. And maybe more to come very soon. Neville looking to come in again. I would have expected the cross not that deep.
It's a pity, you know, the move that led up to it was really special. I thought he was just going to fizz one along the ground as Beckham was making his way in from the right side.
Problem for Bolton, if you give the ball away to a team of Manchester United's calibre on a regular basis, well, they are going to hurt you. Ćurčić bounced off Nathan Blake. Some appeals as Ćurčić went down. Dermot Gallagher again, a very experienced international official, was well placed to judge. And it's Manchester United moving with menace again. Keane. Beckham teasing it on for Cantona.
I think at times, the one thing that's let Manchester United down at times, it's probably been too easy, their final ball. They've just been a little bit sloppy occasionally with it. The build-up, they've just popped it about really well, and at the moment Bolton haven't been able to cope with the passing and movement.
Coleman. Thompson getting the better of Butt in the air. Blake, he's glad to get off the mark in Bolton's colours. His 11th appearance last weekend at Middlesbrough, signing from Sheffield United, Welsh international. Bolton have a corner. Trying to jolt Manchester United out of their impressive stride. But when you give it to Schmeichel, you run the risk of having to defend very shortly afterwards. Giggs. Picked off by Green. David Lee. Can be a very lively customer indeed. For Freitas, only Blake in the centre at the moment for Bolton. Freitas gets the drop on Phil Neville. Lee. Irwin just doing enough against Sellars beyond the back post. Halfway through the first half, Bolton have offered plenty in attack. Manchester United have produced more. Thompson. Lee got there. Phillips. Now the impish Ćurčić. Wants to have a go himself. And, mindful of Tim Flowers yesterday. One look for divots.
Well, it did set up. Not quite to the extent as the one that Tim Flowers had to face yesterday.
But asking too much of Irwin. Phillips, Bolton born, and his second spell with his hometown club. Giggs. Officially, there are around 3,000 Manchester United supporters in the stadium. The authorities think there might be more than that, but the majority with Bolton, and a bit subdued at the moment. from what they've witnessed to this point. Blake. Just a little clip by Bruce on Ćurčić.
Again, showing us willingness to run at people. I mean, there's not even a chance. It's conned everybody.
Losing the commentator.
He does love to run with the ball and run at people. When you do that, I just think you cause problems to other teams.
Sellars. That's Coleman coming in. And Bolton have a corner.
Well, a goal for Bolton would make it really interesting, Martin. I admire the way they've kept their heads up and they've kept going at Manchester United, even though they're 2-0 down. And if they could just pinch one, well, you never know.
And Schmeichel at the second attempt. Freitas was the distraction to the goalkeeper. Cantona. Good look left and then kept it short. Neville. Giggs measuring it for Keane. Neville, Keane. And this time Phil Neville seen off by Green. I wonder what the conversation is like in the Neville household about being in the first team at the moment. The senior Neville brother is a substitute today. Thompson. Cole, as Roy Keane went off on his trademark run. And Andy Cole, well, the pitch is starting to cut up a bit. There'll be one or two excuses for misplaced passes as the game develops.
Just thought he needed a touch on it, Andy Cole. He's really worked quite hard at his first touch in the game. And he does play an awful lot off first time. But I just thought in that time it just needed to be cushioned, controlled, and then laid into his run.
Keane disappointed. A real tangle of arms and legs there between Beckham and Coleman. Now another chance for David Beckham as Manchester United lost one of their really informed players, Lee Sharp, after the midweek match against Everton. It's all about picking the right team at this stage of the season. Kevin Keegan with plenty of options with his international star-studded cast. Here's Cole. The challenge was from Phillips, and Bolton had enough players around.
Again, it's nearly for Andy Cole. Thought he'd done the hard bit by wrestled off Chris Fairclough. Here he wins the battle, he's quickest to react, and he gets away. Just needs to poke it ahead, but Phillips comes across, just gives a touch on it. It's the story for Andy Cole at the moment, so near.
Cantona. In goes Cole again, and Coleman was able to just get there in the nick of time. To Freitas. Free kick given against Phillips, coming into the back of Beckham.
Well, that's what we saw there. from Thompson, from Alan Thompson, Martin, is what Bolton have got to do. They've had not enough pressure on Manchester United in the midfield area. They've allowed Keane and Burton, Giggs, Beckham, Cantona so much time to get control of the ball and then look up and pick passes out. You've just got to put pressure on people at this level, make them work harder. And he did that there, and they got the advantage of winning the ball.
Green. That's come through for Freitas. Bruce plays it back, and Schmeichel not to do anything too fancy. Get it out of harm's way. So with half an hour gone, going to plan for Alex Ferguson rather than for Todd. Cantona. Blake from Phillips. Steve Bruce tight on his man.
That's when it's got to mean something if you're a front man, and when your team is struggling. When it's up to you like that, you've got to fight for it with your life. You've got to control that ball. Even the throw-in they had, and they threw into Freitas, he was brushed off by Pallister so easily. The two front men really have got to protect the ball as if their life depends on it at times.
Creeping up on Steve Bruce, but he still has that hunger to succeed, that means he still has a future with Manchester United. The teams will tell you, well, maybe we can get at Brucey now, but the theory is one thing, putting it into practice onto the pitch is another. Such a wholehearted player, Alex Ferguson has extended his contract for another season after this one. I think he's got a new boot deal. He's got a bit of publicity in these parts for even longer than his time with Manchester United. So those manufacturers must know a thing or two about Steve Bruce's durability. Phillips. And Bruce this time gets a free kick given against him. Dermot Gallagher just waited for a second before blowing his whistle. Complacency in the Manchester United ranks.
Well, he got in, he was in ahead, made his run late and from deep, and got in front of Gary Pallister, who I think was the one tracking him. See him come across the face, and just gets a little on it, not quite enough.
A lot of people in football very pleased to see Simon Coleman back. He's a much respected professional, decent fella. And a year ago this very weekend, he was on the wrong end of an incident at Derby, which ended with Coleman having a broken leg and his very future in football threatened. Pallister. Seen a little bit less of Manchester United as an attacking force over the last 10 minutes or so.
I think they want to do is they want to shut up shop a little. They want to just make it difficult. And Bolton have shown us that they're enterprising, they want to go forward and create things. Manchester United got involved in that, got 2 early goals, and will continue to do so. I don't know whether it's something that's come from the benchmark, maybe just to say, well, hey, don't be so silly. We're 2-0 up, you know, we don't want to be giving a goal away before half-time. You know, if another one comes along, we'll be quite happy. We've got the players to break quickly and catch Bolton, but let's keep it tight at the back.
Blake doing that much better. Well, it almost led to direct reward for him.
It's unlucky. Good spot, good run, good spot by Thompson. Just a touch too much weight on the pass. Sees it all right, nothing wrong with his vision, but only about a yard too much pace on the pass.
fashion. It's been his hallmark since he returned to the side. Makes much trumpeting in October. Oh, Keane, it's really opened up for him. Hit Coleman, it drops to Beckham to play it back. Fairclough gets ahead to it. Thompson, that wasn't easy. It's a fine ball from Sellars. See this free spirit, Ćurčić. Lee. Ćurčić wants it back, gets it back. And Bruce, in the mind of the referee, couldn't get out of the way. Not the way the Bolton fans observed it. Thompson, waiting for Phillips to go to the left. Here he goes. And the pass wasn't worthy of the run. Our midweek football for you on Sky Sports from the Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup, the 5th round replay between Port Vale and the Coca-Cola Cup finalists, Leeds United. And an original tie, a second attempt from Nottingham Forest to take on Tottenham after the snowstorms at the City Ground last Monday. That's on Wednesday next week. We're live again. Join us at 7.
Well claimed. There was no trouble in front of him had he spilled it, but nonetheless, that was a super claim from the goalkeeper. He just left everyone behind the Freitas. He fizzes it across the edge of the 6-yard box. He's at full stretch. Good goalkeeping.
Again, Manchester United just taking their time. Beckham, plenty of purpose here though with the cross, and Andy Cole guiding it down for Keane. Hits Fairclough, bounces well for Bolton. This is Lee. Keane with the capacity to chase back as well as look for goals for himself, which has at times Alex Ferguson describing him as the best player of his type in the game. That was not a successful shot at goal, but no switching off from him. He was back to defend in midfield when Manchester United needed him. To Freitas. Phil Neville came across. More appeals for Bolton. Again answered with a negative by the referee.
Well, they feel a little hard done by because that's two in quick succession. Talked about them wanting to run at players. They do that there. I mean, I think he's got a fair case for that being obstruction. Comes across at an angle. That's the thing that Philip Neville did. And I think that's what probably made it a free kick, in my opinion.
It's a lovely touch and spin from Ćurčić just then. Bolton won't build from it. They do have a plus record over Manchester United in league football. Not too many clubs can boast that. 38 wins to United's 35 in 93 meetings down the years, and that's not counting perhaps their most famous win, the 1958 FA Cup final. And 2 Nat Lofthouse goals. Beat Manchester United at Wembley. Lee. Ćurčić. Now Lee. United have their players in the right sort of defensive stations, Alex Ferguson would feel. Bolton trying to play a way through that. Thompson. A bit of patience required, a bit of probing required. Almost 40 minutes played. Not a huge percentage in favour of Manchester United in the action areas, but there is on the scoreline.
I think the difference has been obviously in both teams' ability to defend. Manchester United have that ability. You know, I'm never so sure when I watch Bolton and I see them play and I see them defend, how confident I'd be about their ability to keep clean sheets.
Frustrating to Colin Todd, who of course was a very fine defender himself. There's a bit more of the shape of the Bruce Rioch Bolton about the team today. I know a lot of the supporters here were disappointed at the start of the season that there were switches to playing three at the back and the wide front, on which they'd used as a basis to climb into the Premiership, was discarded to try and stop Premiership strikers scoring against Bolton. Ian Porterfield you saw next to Colin Todd there. Old playing colleagues at Sunderland, of course. Ian Porterfield, more recently the manager at Chelsea, and now the assistant to the present Bolton man in charge. Shake of the head that says something about the situation that Bolton find themselves in as half-time approaches. And as Manchester United try to break again, good retrieving by Sellars. Thompson, right, Sellars of course with a Newcastle United connection. Cantona trying to glide it down for Keane. Gets the better of Sellars. Cantona takes it on, peeks and Cole to try and involve, but he can't do it this time. A fallible moment for the Frenchman. Blake. Ćurčić finding room in midfield again. Trying to send Freitas on his way. And Andy Gray points to David Lee, saying it should have gone wide.
Well, that would have been the ball I'd have played, because that was the easy ball. I mean, I think when you're looking for a goal back, Ćurčić has looked up. That was a difficult pass to Freitas. The easy one was to keep it coming wide to this right side. But he's looking to try and get his side back into the game.
Sellars. What the defender's going to do, Andy, if FIFA, as they're thinking of doing, ban headed back passes as well? We saw from Phil Neville then. More fun and games, I suppose.
I think we should just ban goalkeepers, then we'll get more goals. And that'll be the next one. Last man in goal.
Keane. Well, Bolton would wish that Peter Schmeichel had been banned today.
That was a fine save. I take it you're referring to that early save from Ćurčić. Martin, it was a great save. And you needed his frame, you needed his athleticism to be able to achieve it, because it was high to his right. It was just about to nestle in the top corner. And they needed every bit of that frame and stretch to reach the ball.
And it was during the few minutes of play when the game was goalless. Bruce. He's off target again, Cantona. A chance to be involved again very quickly. And show what he's made of to his detractors here at Burnden Park. There's no containing policy from Alex Ferguson then. Get the ball back in play quickly for a quick throw. Giggs, such a live wire, and it's hard looking at him in this sort of form to remember that spell last season. And worrying remarks you could hear around the game, up and down the land, that maybe Ryan Giggs wasn't going to be all that he was cracked up to be. He's certainly back at his best, and what he produced to lead to that early Beckham goal, I'm sure you'll want to see again at half-time. Gallagher had to just look at his linesman there before making up his mind whether it was goal kick or corner. Right on the dot, the half-time whistle. Manchester United got off to a very fast start. David Beckham scoring, but Steve Bruce got a second, both within the opening 15 minutes. But even before the goals, Peter Schmeichel with a splendid save from Sasha Ćurčić. Manchester United showing that they can march on here. Bolton in that familiar position with a sinking feeling they're 2 down on their own ground at half-time. Peter Reid, who's also at the game today, but watching his capacity as the Sunderland manager rather than a former Bolton player. That's where he started in football, and that's where his family's loyalties obviously still lie. Let's get some half-time news from Nick Collins.
Well, Martin, just to tell you that the main topic of conversation amongst the Manchester United players at half-time was who actually scored the first goal, whether it was going to be Ryan Giggs or David Beckham who'd be credited with it. United players seemed quite surprised when we told them that it was David Beckham's goal.
Here's Thompson. Replays, I think, quite conclusive that for all the brilliance of Ryan Giggs' effort, the ball actually didn't cross the line until David Beckham made sure that it did. Here's Thompson. One of those that bounced off Phil Neville and probably wasn't a deliberate back pass, but Schmeichel daren't pick it up. Well, it's a big 15 minutes for both sides here. Bolton could just break through and really get their teeth into this fixture that they've been looking forward to for so long.
Goal would really lift not only the players, but I mean the crowd have been brilliant for Bolton, I have to say, this afternoon, Martin. And they've started the second half in good voice again. But what a goal would do for everyone concerned with Bolton right now. Well, I would like to say, I just think that Manchester United are playing well within themselves. I think they've got the 2-goal cushion, they're quite happy with that. And I do think that they've got another gear to go to if they need it.
Cantona. Bolton surrounding Giggs. Ćurčić, his first half display suggests maybe he offers the best hope for any Bolton recovery. Todd has further attacking options on his bench today in John McGinlay and Mixu Paatelainen. Between the two of them, Alan Stubbs, who missed the Middlesbrough match with injury and then found he wasn't immediately recalled. Phillips trying to plough on. Not a rueful Dennis Irwin.
Well, Dennis thought he was getting an easy time, just shielding the ball out for a goal kick. When you're 2-0 down and fighting for your life, as Jimmy Phillips says, then he was not getting an easy time, I'm sorry.
Blake. Went butt effectively for Manchester United. Had to check to collect Cole's return pass. Giggs against Green, taking the inside route. and leaving Bolton very much in his wake once more.
Well, he's playing with such confidence. He had a great start to the half. Drifted out a little bit first half. But when he's on the ball today, or when he's been on the ball today, he's really looked a real threat. Not his strongest side is right, as he comes in on it there.
Knocked on by Cantona, but straight to Green. Here's Lee. To thread it through to Freitas, but the pass really didn't carry any great conviction. Major test of Bolton's belief here. But Fairclough in a very advanced position to get it back for the side that he's captaining today.
But that was much better, Martin, when Manchester United in the first half popped the ball about like that, just outside their box. They had time and space. But that time, I don't know whether Ian Porterfield or Todd have had words. They will put under more pressure. Bolton put more players in and around the ball. And force the error.
Giggs. Nonsense stuff from Coleman. Not very sophisticated, but at least it kept Manchester United in their own half, in which they can now break out with Cantona. Irwin, but well, it was near enough for Branagan to drop to his left.
I didn't quite get it the way he would have liked. Got into that lovely little area just in front of the back four. Just kind of dragged it a little. He's played well again today though, Nicky, but him and Keane are forming a very, very good understanding and a very good partnership in that central midfield area.
Well, it's easy to look rather gloomily at Bolton Wanderers Football Club at the moment, but let's consider what they've achieved. In 1987, they were in the old 4th division. Talking about a side, a club that have produced the great cup results, Coca-Cola Cup finalists only last season. But these are difficult times, so proud to get into the Premiership via the playoff route, wanting to protect their status. That was the main criteria really at the start of the season, when Roy McFarland was alongside Colin Todd as a joint manager. But Neville, Giggs. Manchester United trying to do more than just defend the 2-goal lead, but with it, they can just be fairly sensible about their ambitions.
There's a discipline about their attacking at the moment. They're not throwing too many men forward, not over-committing, and I think that's sensible.
Blake. Thompson, that good left foot of his. Lee. And wanted a good cross then. Didn't get past Neville. Green. Manchester United defend a little further up on the edge of the area. Well, Sellars. Do you remember that game where he played for Newcastle at Tottenham that we brought on Super Sunday earlier in the season? It certainly stuck in Scott Sellars' mind because he and Ginola in the first 45 minutes kept running into each other. That was one reason where, when the offer came to leave St James's Park, he decided to accept it. Full house at Burnden Park. Pallister. Ferguson so pleased to have him fit again. A gap that was hard to fill, and United not those difficult away games over the holiday period without Gary Pallister, where the results suggested that come the end of February they would not be in a challenging position for the championship. But they know the course. Ćurčić with the pass for Nathan Blake. Sellars on the scene again, but on his right foot, and he doesn't want to go for goal. Lee, Sellars on the left foot, forces Schmeichel into a save down by his left-hand post.
Not sure if it was going in, Martin. He had to make the save, he did make the save. But I think this has been the difference. That was a great ball again from Ćurčić. And then Blake opted then to look for the pass. So again did Sellars, so again did Lee. Finally, when they do take the shot, well, probably just sneaking wide. The goalkeeper makes the save anyway.
Forward from Coleman. Blake. And the surface too awkward for Ćurčić. In the video world, perhaps it won't surprise you to learn that Bolton learnt of Ćurčić's talents by watching the tape of his performances, and then sent their chief scout Ian McNeil out to watch him in the flesh. And the message was to Colin Todd, I found you a player. I don't think there are many arguments with that. Blake, it's a useful ball for Freitas. Blake goes on into the centre. Here he is, and he doesn't make contact. Half a chance. Lee. Looking better for Bolton Wanderers, if only they can get one back. Well, that was ambitious from Thompson.
It's a little, but that's one of the best pieces of play the front two have put together today. It's up to Freitas, back to Blake. And Freitas makes the run in behind, and he does pick out Blake well, doesn't panic, slots it back. It is half a chance, you have to say. It just bounces before Nathan Blake, which may have made it a little more difficult for him.
This is Cantona, but not before the ball had bounced up for Fairclough. Neville. Giggs. It's Andy Cole, and he's going to get there first, and that's the spell he's going through.
Again, he's getting himself into positions to miss chances. But like so many that he's having at the moment, he's not doing enough with them. It's a decent opportunity. The angle is tight. It's not on his strongest side, but doesn't hit the target.
Well, it was set up by Ryan Giggs, who was moving very freely, and he now moves very freely off the pitch. Maybe with Newcastle United away in mind. Ryan McClair comes on. Whether there's just a precaution of a problem that we know nothing about, but he's certainly made his mark on this match. And Alex Ferguson will feel, judging by that substitution, that Manchester United are sitting pretty. Whether Bolton can make him regret the change remains to be seen.
Well, he certainly didn't look as if he was carrying an injury mark, and I can only think that Alex Ferguson feels that he's done his job, Ryan, and they're 2-0 up. They're fairly comfortable. It gets by McClair a run out.
It wasn't too comfortable from Gary Pallister that led to Irwin conceding the corner. Well, they've got Giggs out of the way, Bolton. Now they've got this 2-goal deficit to try and make inroads into, and they've got David Lee on the edge of the area. Fresh from his first goal of the season at Middlesbrough last weekend, but not a second here at home.
Well, they don't quite clear the header. Sitting in the near post. The first touch wasn't the best. Doesn't quite kill it enough. And that's why it's always bouncing up. He's hitting it on the up. Never quite over the top of the ball.
But Cantona. Well met by Coleman. Irwin. There's a lovely reflex header there from Butt to Irwin. Cole, bedding in. Roy Keane. Well, he was perhaps lucky to be able to go onto it. It was a rather clumsy first touch, charged out, but keeping the momentum for Manchester United. Now Neville. Everyone wanting the ball. McClair. Coleman with the air of a man who's so glad to be back playing, even if he's in a team at the bottom of the league. Blake. Ćurčić. For Blake. It's a worthy try. Good foot movement by Schmeichel this time to cover the ground to make the save a routine one. Branagan's had to come out of the area. Half an hour to go. Fairclough. Well, it was late by Bruce. Just the free kick given by Dermot Gallagher. Ćurčić with a shot that was always rising. It was ambitious. He looks to see where it landed.
It was ambitious, but he was bright. Again, he was the one who was alert, Martin, wanted the quick free kick, wanted to push forward. Shaking his head tells us what even he thought of his attempt.
Made his first appearance in that win over Arsenal and Bruce Rioch, which meant so much back in the autumn here for Bolton Wanderers, one of only 4 league wins they've had this season. Seemed a springboard for better times, but in fact in the next 11 league games they took just 2 points, so it rather backfired in the end. Cole, 2 number 17s have seen plenty of each other, but so far Simon Coleman has at least stopped Andy Cole from scoring for Manchester United today. It's on 98 league goals, incidentally, and he has scored on this ground before. You might have to think hard about the club he was playing for at the time. It was Fulham. He was on loan there from Arsenal, and it was his 2nd league goal. That was very much a fledgling stage of his career then. Crunching tackle from Thompson, rather respectfully greeted by Roy Keane, who's quite prepared to dish that sort of thing out himself. Cole. Coleman coming forward again. Ćurčić turning back into trouble in the shape of Keane. Phillips. Ćurčić, that's brilliant. He's got runners either side, goes to the left to Nathan Blake.
It must be so frustrating, you know, for this man on our screen now. He produces at times such wonderful skill, Mark. Look at that, that's just a joy to watch. I mean, that's 2 international players he's just skipped past there as if they weren't there. And then for so much of his good work just to, well, break up in and around the 18-yard box, I think at times must be so frustrating for him.
Well, the foreigner debate, of course, is one that's being heard up and down the land at the moment, but when the foreigners are of that capability, welcome to them. There's another of them, Eric Cantona. Roy Keane.
We think the things about Ćurčić which probably they don't admire are things like this, when both midfield players, central areas, get through easily and goal, and you look up and you see Ćurčić in and around the halfway line. I think that's what you were talking about earlier, that they're trying to get him more involved in the pattern of play, and I think particularly when they lose the ball.
And also at time when he's on the ball, where he backs his own ability, maybe to the exclusion of a simple pass to a teammate better placed. But he's certainly contributed to the Bolton cause since he's been here. But Today, so far, it is yet again a losing cause. Cantona. Now, Ćurčić on the ball again. The Freitas move to the right. Ćurčić skips away past Bruce, and he's got Sellars for company. And then, maybe point proved, although it would have been difficult to release the pass perhaps at the crucial moment. Sellars is left shaking his head, Ćurčić as well. It was exciting, but it wasn't profitable. Beckham. Keane. Manchester United slow it down. And now quickening it up with the run of McClair. That was an awkward bounce for Keane. Beckham came a bit sharpish to him. Minutes gone in the second half. No further damage to the Bolton goal, but no improvement in the overall position for Colin Todd's team. Cantona. Neville. But it's a lovely cutback by Neville, who you remember did the same for Lee Sharp to win the Manchester Derby in the FA Cup last Sunday.
And a good run back first half for Butt as well, Martin, and he headed it straight at the goalkeeper. This is a more difficult header, but a better one second half, because he gets it down and he gets it towards the corner, and it does have the goalkeeper scrambling.
At time, Phil Neville looks very right-footed, but when the other one's required, it's more than a swinger. Thompson. That's good covering down that far side by Beckham, who's been switched since Giggs was taken off. And again. Cantona. Needed Manchester United to be at their most majestic. What they are being at the moment is their most professional.
They're doing exactly what's required. From their point of view, it's important that they win the game. Keep the pressure on and win the game. And at the moment, that's exactly what Alex Ferguson's side's doing.
Looking for some inspiration. Sellars trying to supply it. Up from to Freitas, still Sellars. Dermot Gallagher again says nothing. Steve Bruce with bodily contact on Ćurčić. Game goes on, and Manchester United looking to use the continuity to make sure of the 3 points for the third goal. Bolton reflect on the refereeing viewpoint.
Once again, Dermot Gallagher was in a very good position, Martin, to see that. Certainly from where you and I are, that would have been a harsh decision, I felt. Didn't look to me as if Steve Bruce did an awful lot wrong, except just stand his ground.
Neville, very tenacious. Just 19 years old. Beckham. Well, we'll have a look, not at Beckham's shot, but at the thing that Dermot Gallagher's saying no way about.
I don't think he does an awful lot wrong. I think that's just contact. No arm comes out from Steve Bruce. He stands his ground. He can't get out the way. I think if there was something being given there, the only thing it could have been given would have been obstruction. But certainly I didn't think a penalty. He's having trouble with the ball across, and then he just, well, they make contact. It's as simple as that. It would have been harsh.
Well, if McGallagher had believed that Steve Bruce moved the cross into Ćurčić's path, then the whistle would have gone. Steve Bruce, a very wily man in those situations. And Ćurčić, as we saw in the first half, quite prepared to go to ground. But the Bolton supporters continue to feel that Manchester United were fortunate. McClair. Cole has slipped. Coleman, great chance. And this one, he has smashed it.
Oh, that's a great goal. Brian McClair deserves a big piece of thanks, and he's getting it from Andy Cole for a super little touch. Well, he had a lot to do, Andy Cole. Still had a lot to do from here. He opts for power. I think he's sensible. He's struggling for goals. He's looking for a goal. You put your boot through the back of the ball and you strike it hard and true at goal. And he did just that. And this time, although it does come off the woodwork, he gets his reward for a good piece of skill.
Well, he's into double figures. Player perhaps expected to get his goals in 20s and 30s. And will feel that this season he's had the chances to be up around certainly double his present tally. But what has been comforting for him is that for the most part Manchester United have kept winning, and winning certainly seems to be the scenario today. They're 3-0 in front, and it makes it all the harder for Bolton to take what happened a minute or so earlier, when Steve Bruce will say he stood his ground. Ćurčić will feel that there was movement across to impede his passage to the ball in the United penalty area. And now they're off the United bench, annoyed at the late challenge on Butt. But it can only be temporary concern. Their overall feelings at the moment must be pretty content.
It'll be interesting to see what Dermot Gallagher does, Mark, when this move comes to a stop and the ball goes out to play. He certainly noted, I think there was Thompson's tackle, a late one, on Nicky Butt. I just wonder what he'll do, if he'll do anything, the referee, when the ball goes out to play.
Interception by Phillips. Ćurčić still doing his best, brushing Butt aside and going on himself. Phillips. Sellars. And it's wide of Schmeichel, but not to where the Freitas could put it into the net. Bolton with Lee. And it's De Freitas again. He's found it as hard going as his namesake has for the England cricketers.
That's a decent ball in this from Lee. Goes back onto his right. De Freitas does get in front of Pallister, but doesn't get up enough and get the ball down.
Well, with a 3-goal cushion, it's Eric Cantona who's withdrawn. And the player who is still Manchester United's leading scorer, Paul Scholes, although Andy Cole is creeping ever closer. 11 goal Scholes, 2 of them came at Bolton's expense at Old Trafford in September, remember. So Scholes gets a taste of the action. McClair, and it's Scholes straight away. And, my word, what an arrival that would have been. Still Ćurčić and Sellars. Bolton have John McGinlay getting ready to perhaps come on. It's taking the tracksuit bottoms off. It's Lee lashing it well wide as McGinlay gets ready. Let's look again at Andy Cole.
That's what he does well. Turns inside Coleman, Martin. Then he steadies himself, and I wondered, will he try and slot it? But I think the fact that he's found goals hard to come by made his mind up, and I think that shows how much that means not only to Andy Cole but his manager as well.
David Lee is the player coming off. John McGinlay hasn't been Colin Todd's favourite player recently because McGinley's been voicing his discontent at being left out of the side. He's got international ambitions, of course, later this year with Scotland. Needs to be playing regularly, he feels. Well, here's a chance to get a place back in the team. McGinlay. Thompson. It's easy for Schmeichel, and even if it hadn't been, the flag was up for offside.
Well, there'd been absolutely no rush from now till the 90th minute, Manchester United, to do anything. They would have regarded this as a tricky fixture today, with all the history behind it as well.
Cole. Scholes. He's added to his total. It's number 12 of the season for Paul Scholes, whose appearances have been so restricted. A little deflection on the way as Simon Coleman left rueful again. But it's 4-0 to Manchester United.
Well, it's no surprise he scores, because this lad's just a goal scorer. He does get a deflection, the goalkeeper might well have saved it. But as I say so often, when you're down there, well, these sort of things just don't go for you. Slight deflections, the pace on the ball just give Branagan absolutely no chance.
Well, he's been kicking his heels on the sidelines for several weeks, Paul Scholes. We haven't seen him in action since he came on at Sunderland and scored. That's the depth of Manchester United's attacking resources and the envy of many other clubs. And this equals Manchester United's 4-0 margin at Coventry. And we've still got, what, 13 minutes or so to go. Ćurčić, who you feel deserves something for his afternoon's effort. He's got a free kick.
Well, he's worked hard, he's kept going.
McGinlay trying to be a distraction around the wall. Fairclough has gone in there as well. And Thompson and Ćurčić closest to the ball. Schmeichel centre goal. Thompson can't get it over the wall. Good pressing by Cole. Schmeichel snares it. Scholes, all live wire action. Keane peels off to the left. Green goes with him. Well, we're not exactly, Andy, in the situation in the championship race where goal difference is certain to play a part, but if it does, Manchester United have just a peg back a bit at Newcastle today. They're playing with the air of a side not satisfied with the floor, but this is McClair. Scholes! Oh, we looked for the flag and it didn't go up, and it's 5-0.
He takes out some good positions, I tell you. Amazing. When he comes, whether it's offside or not, certainly one or two arms went up, and maybe one or two questions on whether he's offside. Might well be in line. It's touch and go. Thompson's the one who's, well, he's the last defender, if you like, as Cole just touches it back here. No, he's not offside. It's a good decision from the linesman. And just an instinctive finish. Scholes, it's flashing across the face of him. Out comes a foot that's in the net. It's as simple as that when you ball Scholes.
Well, the substitute has scored twice, and Manchester United, who were pretty much in command after 2 goals in the opening 14 minutes, slightly reconsidered their position, took off Giggs, took off Cantona, and no wonder they're in jovial mood on that particular bench. Ferguson's never brought a team to play here at Burnden Park before. Remember, he's in his 10th year as Manchester United manager, so he's breaking new ground, and it's a match he'll remember. Beckham, Cole, and more harrowing moments perhaps for Bolton. Chris Fairclough and his fellow defenders just haven't been able to stop the flow.
Well, the opening 15 minutes were an absolute killer for Bolton, and that's what made the game for Manchester United. From there, they controlled it without ever having to be at their best, and then just every now and again, second half, they just upped it, and they've really tested them. And the difference in the top end, the cutting edges of both sides, is, well, I think it's been there for all to see today.
Peter Schmeichel gives us time to remind you of what's coming up on Sky Sports in terms of live football over the next couple of days, from the Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup and a really intriguing 5th round replay between Port Vale, who've done so well in the competition, and Leeds United. That's on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, Nottingham Forest and Tottenham play for a place in the last 8. Not just winning for Manchester United here, it's the way they're winning. And that's away from home, bottom club or not. To Freitas. Ćurčić. And Nathan Blake must score. But flags up, it's not going to count.
Certainly flag went up very quickly. We'll see again, Ćurčić the one who's offside. You see Nathan Blake, yeah, it might well be Blake who's given offside from the initial shot.
Well, from where Peter Schmeichel is taking the free kick, suggests it was earlier in that attack. So, no consolation. And his Scholes, who of course is hunting down a hat-trick if he can.
He couldn't come on good and get a hat-trick. What's he been on, 10 minutes?
Not much more than that. More problems for Bolton. But Keane to clip it in. Came off the head of Fairclough. The Freitas gets a free kick. Foul by Beckham. Well, it's a tale here of the blistering start and the flourishing finish. Beckham and Bruce early on. Cole and then Scholes twice in the latter stages. The Freitas. McGinlay doing most of his work since he's come on the right-hand side.
Oh, what a touch.
Keane comprehensively lost Phillips. Scholes to the right. McClair supporting Cole in the centre. Keane. They are not satisfied yet, Manchester United. They are sending a chilling message, perhaps, to Tyneside.
Well, I think with this result's done, it's just built up next Monday rather beautifully.
And that for you, Andy, is an understatement. McGinlay. Thompson having a crack. Green. Scott Green's been converted into a right back. If you really press him on his preferred position, he'll tell you he wants to be a striker, really. Certainly hasn't been much fun being a defender in the Bolton team today. Thompson with the free kick. Free header from Freitas. And I suppose, in a way, that sums up the difference between being successful and not.
Yeah, when you're playing for Manchester United and you're Andy Cole, you can miss headers like that in the first half and maybe be confident that it won't matter too much. He didn't really get a good contact, came off his shoulder in actual fact. But when you're struggling and when you're with Bolton at the bottom of the division, well, it's more important that you score them, I think.
Phillips. Ćurčić. Slight of foot from Beckham this time. Irwin. Still 5 minutes or so to go, and maybe even more torture for Bolton to come. Andy, certainly, I would assume, as man of the match, going to pick a Manchester United player, although I suppose Ćurčić has certainly put his credentials before our audience today.
Yeah, Ćurčić has laced the game with some wonderful skill.
McGinlay, good stop by Schmeichel, he's giving nothing away. A shot may well have taken the touch before the goalkeeper turned it aside.
Well, the touch was what made it a difficult save, Martin, at the end. He hits it, comes off Pallister's backside, and that's what made the save a difficult one. But everything Schmeichel's had to deal with today, he's dealt with well.
That was a long-range header from Thompson. Thompson. Agreed. Schmeichel quickly sensing the counter-attack again. Great touch from Cole. McClair. Not quite such a good touch. The 5-goal margin, if it stays that way, will give Manchester United their biggest ever win at Bolton. Almost 100 meetings between the two sides, home and away. A real traditional fixture in bygone times. Haven't seen it, of course, so much recently, and we may not see it again for a long time. Andy, man of the match.
Well, you're right, it is going to be a Manchester United player, and it has been a very good team performance for them. They flew out the traps, controlled the game, and then, well, they killed them off second half. But there's been two players on the park, I think, who have been what I would call at it from the first minute till now. That's the two central midfield players. It's Nicky Butt and Roy Keane. But I think Keane's just shaded it, in my opinion, so my Carling Premiership man of the match is going to be Roy Keane.
Bruce. And Keane immediately gives the ball to Freitas, and maybe Bolton will get a consolation goal, and yet again Schmeichel denies them that.
Well, again, when called upon, Schmeichel's produced the goods. Sloppy piece of play from a man of the match, but when they've needed that goalkeeper today, he hasn't let them down.
And Pallister hesitated, rather distracted by Scholes. Got to it in the end. Beckham. Cole. Another one for him, perhaps. had to go wide, blocked by Green. Cole tries again with Scholes. This time a little over-elaborate. Well, from Bolton's point of view, we mentioned the... sorry, Andy, let's let you reflect on that.
No, obviously it's just overhit, isn't it? The movement was good. The idea was right. The ball just overhit.
From the Bolton point of view, the couple of ifs, the shot by Ćurčić at 0-0, if that had gone in, and Bolton had had the boost to the first goal of the game, maybe a different story. The complaints about the contact, Bruce, on Ćurčić, that was at 2-0, and moments later Cole got the third and wrapped it all up. Clutching at straws?
I think so, Matt, yeah. A couple of ifs, but I always felt that Manchester United did too much for Bolton today.
And as Dermot Gallagher looks at his watch, we've seen the gulf between second and bottom in the FA Carling Premiership. Scholes. McClair trying to cushion it. Cole. But is there another one? It's 6-0. And Nicky Butt in stoppage time gets his name on the list of scorers as well.
Well, I said he came close, Martin. Him and Roy Keane have been excellent today. Had this happened 5 minutes ago, and he might have just shaded Roy Keane because of the simple fact he scored. It's a great finish. Branagan goes to ground, and he's so aware of that fact. And what does he do? Just lifts it over the goalkeeper into the roof of the net. Super goal. Great finish from the kid.
Well, what a profitable 4 days it's been for Manchester United. 2 wins in the Premiership, while Newcastle have managed just 1 point. And a win here, plus 6-0. Andy Cole in on the feast. Paul Scholes as a substitute sees 2. David Beckham started it after glorious play from Giggs. Steve Bruce 2-0, that's the way it was for a long period in the game. And then Nicky Butt right at the end, putting a scoreline here that will have those thumbing the Premiership record books. Was it Nottingham Forest got 7 in an away game at Sheffield Wednesday, but 6 for Manchester United today. The gap at the top is cut to 4. Well played Peter Schmeichel as well. Newcastle still have a game in hand, but a week tomorrow. So much now at stake at St James's Park when the top 2 meet. Bolton Wanderers 0, Manchester United 6. Let's join Nick Collins.
Thanks, Martin. I've got Roy Keane down here. Roy, congratulations. How much was that game shaped by that great start you made with the 2 goals in 15 minutes?
Well, it's always important to make a good start. We know Bolton would be up for it today, especially the position they're in. And there's a lot of rivalry between a set of fans, so obviously it was important. And Giggsy got us a great start, and we've been on from there.
Now, a lot of clubs could have been tempted to have sat back at 2-0 or even 3-0, but were you really conscious, yes, we're going to try and get as many goals as possible to improve the goal difference between you and Newcastle?
Well, at the start of the game, the important thing, obviously, was to get the 3 points. But 5 goals is always nice. We didn't expect to get that many before the game, but as I said, the 2 early goals obviously helped us and we could relax. And obviously, we're delighted to get 5.
Well, you're on a terrific run at the moment. The gap is down to just 4 points now, and your next opponents are Newcastle, so I mean, it couldn't be better poised, could it, really?
Now, obviously, we're looking forward to Newcastle next Monday. It's an important game for both these clubs, but we really need to go up there and win. And we're very confident. We beat them at Old Trafford quite comfortably early in the season, so we're very confident going up there and getting 3 points.
All right, wish you luck. Roy, well played today. The Carling man of the match. Bottle of champagne for you. Thanks a lot.